Is this a drill or something?
Ezra, you know visions inspired by the Force can be misinterpreted.
Just start at the beginning and tell us exactly what you saw.
Okay. Could Exar Kun appear in Star Wars Rebels Season 4? As is surely confirmed, at the end of Season 3, the Ghost crew is about to relocate to Yavin 4 in Rebels. Now surely it's only a matter of time until we learn more about the planet and its inhabitants. Yavin 4 being the jungle-covered fourth moon in orbit around the red gas giant Yavin, and of course the staging ground of the Rebel base in A New Hope as well as Rogue One. Now here is where my mind was absolutely blown. We learned so much about Yavin 4 in the EU with Luke Skywalker setting up his Jedi Academy there. His students eventually encountered the spirit of a Dark Lord of the Sith who enslaved the native Massassi on the planet and was ultimately stopped by the Jedi, which I will expand on soon. However, after Return of the Jedi, he starts terrorizing the Academy, and he's a Sith Lord known as Exar Kun. Now, he himself has a rich and storied past on the planet and beyond, and I thought, well, it's still all EU, maybe, let it die. Maybe it will come back, but who knows, really, until I stumbled upon an article about Yavin 4 on Wikipedia that states that some of this is still canon, thanks to a recanonization of a 2005 children's book, Journey Through Space, which was reissued January 2015 into canon, and its contents show up on Wikipedia stating directly, 5,000 years before the Battle of Yavin, the ancient warrior race of the Massassi lived on Yavin 4 and constructed the Great Temple of Massassi. Being enslaved by the Sith, the Massassi species would be extinct by the time the Alliance to Restore the Republic would utilize the temple during the Galactic Civil War as a base of operations against the then dominant Galactic Empire. So, the Massassi are no more because of a Sith, and their temples are still in canon erect there, and we're going to the planet. Now, although unnamed, that means the story of the Massassi at least is 100% canon. The temple would seem undisturbed as far as we know, and the rebel ghost crew who contain 2 Jedi are about to happen upon the planet with a Sith temple on it. I mean, how many times have we seen Kanan and Ezra explore temples thus far? Jedi or Sith, they are basically magnets for them at this point. Now also, the spirit of the Sith Lord may not be Exar Kun, 100%, but supposing it is, seeing it is following the old EU story of Massassi and the temple, he definitely in the past has looked for hosts to inhabit, as we saw in the novel I, Jedi, to corrupt and utilize for his own nefarious reasons, but it was Force users he was primarily interested in. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar or missed the whole 90s Exar Kun books and explosion in popularity, here's a bit of a basic backstory as why I'm excited that the Rebels could potentially happen upon Exar Kun himself. He's a fantastic character. Exar Kun was a Jedi Knight originally, and he was incredibly powerful, and he had a massive thirst for knowledge and turned to the Sith in the EU during the days of the Old Republic before the Mandalorian Wars, or Revan, so it's before their time. He was remembered by some as the first practitioner to create and utilize the double-bladed lightsaber or saber staff, which Maul based his own on. So, in short, an all-around badass who, turning to the dark side, enslaves this race, the Massassi on Yavin 4, at the behest of some Sith Lords. Then, as Sith do, he got an apprentice, Ulic Qel-Droma, who was also a competing Sith, but was anointed Kun's apprentice mid-duel by Marka Ragnos. It gets a little bit crazy, but Qel-Droma turns against Kun in the end. After killing his brother, he sees the error of his ways and goes back to the Jedi, but Kun does awesome stuff, like goes to Coruscant, sees his old master, and kills him in a duel. Like, how badass is that to go to where the Jedi are and just totally have a showdown? But the Jedi, with the aid of Ulic Qel-Droma, they push him back to Yavin 4, and he realizes that he can't win, even though he's had this whole war and it's come to a head. So to ensure he would live on, and he becomes a Sith ghost entrapped in the temple, he sacrifices his army, and that's basically the last time the known galaxy had seen him. He had a showdown with the Jedi. He was about to lose, so he kills all the people on the planet, the Massassi tribe. I guess you wouldn't call them people, but he lives on until Luke starts an academy on the planet and his spirit is disturbed by the Jedi in the EU. But in canon, If all those events hold true, it is still the last time we've seen of him. He's entrapped in the temple, he's sacrificed the Massassi. However, now the crew is about to land on the planet and he's in this dormant temple and no doubt learn of the ancient Sith ruins, of course hinging on the fact that they are standing and the unidentified Sith Lord is indeed Exar Kun. It could be a random temple, we don't know yet, but I mean, the fact that they brought the Massassi back and the temple is a big indicator. This is potentially insanely exciting as a turn of events or side story in Rebels. However, it does hinge on a lot of facts, such as that the book is accurate, as I haven't yet been able to read it, so that's kind of weird, and some people put things in Wikipedia. There's also the fact that Exar Kun may not be the Sith Lord, it could just be they reinvent him as they've done before, but regardless, this is fantastic, and honestly, it's such a great storyline. Most fans that are aware of the Massassi on Yavin, if we've got a temple on Yavin 4, let's do a side story of Exar Kun and how the Rebels could encounter him, because obviously the Force users in their team, they don't want to just focus on the Rogue One storyline of non-Force users and the space battles on Scarif. There's this rich history that Yavin 4 also holds, but the beauty of this video is it's just the start of the discussion. Our love for Star Wars surrounds and it binds us together, so let me know in the comments below, do you believe we're going to see Exar Kun in Rebels Season 4? Because if you love Star Wars, I'm going to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that, my friends. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those Force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.